See, Mark?
And it's easily digestible.
Really?
Yeah. How do you know you're not allergic to rye toast?
Let me give you my impression of the film. I thought it was refreshing to see two stars such as yourselves act so silly on camera. Was it fun to do a role like this?
No.
No,
Why?
I don't like him.
Why's that?
I don't know. It's something about...
Sometimes when you just meet someone, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's like you knew each other in a former life. Now, I don't want to get into that because we know about sibling. But right off the bat, I said, this guy's a creep. And it must have reached him because I didn't say it. And yet I knew, you know when someone doesn't like you, you can feel
Right.
it.
And in that way, we had that connection.
For a year and a half now.
Yeah. We didn't... Yeah.
I can't look at him. You notice I'm looking at you.
I noticed that.
I cannot look at him. I'll walk right out of here.
When you were shooting the film, did you have the rapport off camera
No.
that you do now and that you had in the film?
You call this a rapport?
It's some kind of a rapport.
Yes.
Now, did you have a good rapport off camera? And
No, first of all, Warren never comes to work. He gets up really late because he gets to bed late. So we'd all be sitting there, 100 people, camels, everything, and he shows up about 3 in the afternoon. He does 1 or 2 takes, and then he's gone. So there's not chance for a rapport, you know. He had his eye on this one camel, Marie, and he'd do a couple of takes, and then he'd go off on the dunes. You know, he kind of, first he led her with a leash. Once she got to know him, he didn't need a leash, but you could never find him. And it hurt me because I like to have a rapport with my co-stars. It's important. But he had nothing to say to me. Never, he was never seen without Marie. He was always with her, always talking to her,
let me ask you
trying
about
to get her to stop,
talking,
chewing her cud.
chewing her cud. Let me ask you about the singing. Was it a delicate balance to get the singing to be bad enough to be funny, but not bad enough to irritate the audience in the theater?
You didn't think our singing was good?
Well, it wasn't. I mean, I don't know if I'd go out and buy your
honest.
record.
You
to
can
be
be
honest
honest with us.
You didn't?
No,
You didn't?
no.
Equally bad.
Equally bad.
Really?
No, but was there a delicate balance there to be bad enough to be funny, but not
You want the truth?
irritate the people who? Yeah.
The truth.
The truth.
I had to come down to match him.
Did you?
Yes. Yes. I had to come down. I mean, my
Very
voice...
competitive.
Warren.
You had to compromise your standards to.
In all ways. Even with Marie, who really couldn't take her eyes off me.
How about the?
We do sing live in that
Do you?
film. It's not pre-recorded or dubbed or doctored. That's us, and that's our voices after we had our little hearty warm-ups in the morning. And
That's him and Marie. I doctored mine. I smoothed things out. I was meticulous about my singing.
Overdubbing and
I overdubbed. I did sometimes 16-track with backups. And,
He's known
he and
for his
Marie.
overdubbing.
Now, do you find yourselves now in the bathroom writing, little songs and little ditties?
I write a lot of music. He does. He does a lot of overdubbing in the bathroom. But he does a lot of overdubbing in the tub. But I wrote some of the music. You do overdub in the tub.
What does an overdub in the tub sound like?
But Elaine said if this film is going to work from her point of view, she wanted us to sing as well as we could and to play as well as we could. Warren used to be a cocktail pianist, and I studied classical piano.
Who did you study classical piano
Mr.
with?
Voorhees and Eli Miller. Eli Miller first, and then Mr. Voorhees.
Okay.
At the Los Angeles Conservatory of Music, I can document every year I was there.
Every year?
Yes, I was there during high school. I didn't get to play sports. The guys like you were out playing football. I was doing Cherney and Hannon.
Let me ask you something seriously. There's been a lot of talk about this film.
This is why
about
there's no rapport.
the budget.
Yes.
Do you think people put too much emphasis on how much a film costs?
Not at all. Not
No?
at all. I think they're right. I think entirely too much money was spent. We could have, Elaine had her choice, either to do a film or buy Malta.
Let me ask Warren, do you think that there's too much emphasis on the budget of films?
Here's my answer. The ticket price is the same as the ticket price for the other movies. That's what I think the emphasis should be on.
But does it matter how much a film costs as long as it's successful and you recoup your money?
Well, I don't know. I guess it matters if it's your money, but I think it matters how much you have to pay for the ticket.
The truth of the matter is, everyone tries to get as much money as they can, obviously. So if an actor, or if you pardon the expression, a star gets a salary by himself, he tries to get the same salary when he's with another star who gets an equal salary. So already the cost.
It's going to be a very long.
The cost of a film immediately takes the cost of what a film with non-stars costs to make. In the old days, not the old days to Warren, but to me the old days, stars were lent out by studios, and they were under contract, so they didn't get salaries, and consequently...
Did you get a lot of money for playing Cherney and Hannon?
No. But I mean, I think we're taking the blame for costing a lot of money, and the other films with stars
Pictures do
did
cost
too.
a lot of money now.
Legal Eagles, when they had 2 stars,
Wow.
and Out of Africa.
Let me ask you something.
I should have done Out of Africa instead of this one, but I didn't know at the time.
I thought Merrill was much
I was
better
supposed to
than
play
he
her
would have
part.
been.
Yeah, I was supposed to be with Redford. I could have been with Redford.
There are, with successful films,
Yeah.
a lot of times there's one thing that comes out that, you know, becomes a trademark or whatever, as far as to the, you know, to the young people who watch films. Like in Beverly Hill Cop, it was the Mumford High T-shirt or whatever. What do you think's gonna come out of this one? You think you'll see people with the bandanas or the head wraps?
Camel's penis.
That's it?
Yep.
Warren, what do you think of that one?
Well, you see, the illogic of that, you have Marie was the camel. You see
Not
what
the
I'm
first
saying? You see the
one.
subtle ambivalence that you're delivered here in this.
No, it would be. Actually, we're having a benefit for Camp Good Times on May 13th, and they're giving out. That's what the Columbia
Seriously?
chose. Yes, Columbia chose the red headband. It would be nice if.
A redhead.
What else could it
So,
be
see, you
besides
could
that?
recoup millions just marketing the red headbands, right?
Could you, Warren? Could you? Could you?
No, really.
The red headbands. I don't know anything about the red headbands, but I'll look into it.
Seriously, has this been a
Yes.
fun project for you? I mean, you spent a lot of time working on it. You're out doing press on it. Do you have a good feeling about it?
Well, I think we are kind of in good spirits now. It's because it's over. It was such a nightmare, and we you know, we don't want to hurt each other, and we know the best way not to hurt each other is never to work together again. Because I want him to grow to be old and happy, and he wants the same for me. And it's over. I mean, it was not easy working with Warren. I want to say that right here and out in the clear. You notice no one works with him again that has worked with him before. No one. You can't.
I just realized that.
It's true. It's true.
Is it true that you two kind of snuck in and sat in on the press preview thing Friday night?
Yes. Yes.
What was your reaction there?
I was really unhappy.
Really?
Yeah, because it was the first time I had seen the movie with other than a general audience, and critics, when they're all together.
He gets very unhappy if he can hear
Boy, it's
any
like doing
line
it's
of
like
dialogue.
doing
He's a very unhappy guy to open. And he's very, very competitive. He feels that if you can hear anything said in the movie, that you've failed. So we allowed him to come to the preview in Toronto, and another preview in New Jersey, and one in Connecticut, and you couldn't hear the dialogue. So he was very happy. He was
Why
very
couldn't you hear
happy.
the dialogue?
He brought up 7 limousines and all of his bodyguards.
Why couldn't you?
He has about 12 bodyguards that just stay with him every time because he's
Never
really
had a
committed.
bodyguard before I worked with him. Man psychotic.
So when you guys saw the picture, you know, he sees the whole group of you reach for your little pads and start writing down, and he immediately feels that you're writing something bad about him.
Are
Because the man
you a
has
critic?
about
No.
You're not a
Of course
critic, but
he's a
he's not a critic. What do you think about critics? Don't you think that critics should see the film with a general audience instead of amongst themselves?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like
See,
I asked
He's such
a
a cautious person. He immediately feels if he sees something writing and they're not laughing and shrieking and cheering and rising to their feet, he feels they're writing something negative about him.
No, it's not at all.
And it's,
Not
well, it
true.
is true.
Not true. You know, a critic told me yesterday, I said, why don't you people respond more? Warren said it's because they're writing. He said, no. He said, we're so competitive with each other that we sit in that room and watch the film. We don't want to show the other one what we think of the film. So that, and I thought, isn't that nuts?
Who said that?
Okay.
I forget, I think it was Gene Siskel, probably.
They're giving us the wrap. Thank you very
Oh,
much,
sorry.
guys.
Thank you.